E. Martin in the house. I'm with my three of my four crazy daughters. There's Shy. Say hey, what's up, Shy? All right, Jasmine, what up, baby girl? And Z Lo in his house. All right, so I'm turning it, and this is their dad. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but anyway, we are at the Cheesecake Factory, putting it in, and I don't get to hang out with these sisters too often because they all grown now, and they don't like hanging out with me like they did when they was little.
That is not true.
So
that is not the reason.
That's not the reason.
Do not be lying to the internet like that.
Y'all ain't grown.
Well, we
Not
are
true.
grown, but not too grown for you.
Not too grown for your dad. All right, well, that makes me feel better. All right, we gonna put it away though, ladies? We gonna put it in? All right. I love you all, and I just wanted to holler at you. Peace. Good morning, Millennials and Gen Z. What's happening? What's happening? What's good? What's good, Millennials and Gen Z? Welcome to another live stream, Sharing My Wisdom podcast with Uncle E. It is Friday morning, the day after Thanksgiving. Pray that everyone made it to and from their family gathering safe. I pray that the families are doing well, and I pray that you're doing well. It's another live stream. This is number 5 this week. I committed to doing a live stream every day this week during the Thanksgiving break because the brother had time. So I'm here again, and I welcome you to another live stream, Millennials and Gen Z. So today we are going to be discussing military employment options. Let me repeat that. Military employment options. Now you may be asking yourself, why do you want to talk about military employment options? Well, I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. I served in the United States Marine Corps 1984 to 1988. And let me tell you, I had plans on doing a career in the United States Marine Corps. But what had happened was, let me tell you what happened. So towards the end of my tour, I was overseas. I was in Asia. And I was getting ready to re-enlist. I had made it. I had been promoted. Was getting ready to get promoted to Corporal E4. And I was already overseas. So I had just gotten back from Indonesia, I believe. Was ready to re-enlist and got orders back to the States. I didn't want to come back to the States. I wanted to stay. I was a paralegal, so my specialty was very difficult and it was rare. So I tried to use my leverage to stay overseas, but because of my rank being an E3, they told me I had to come back to the United States for at least 3 years before they sent me back overseas, and I just didn't want to do it because I was perfectly fine being overseas, and I had planned on, if I had stayed, I was going to do my 20 years overseas and just live outside the borders of the United States for the duration of my career. God had other plans. It didn't turn out that way. So ended up coming back to the United States, got out of the Marine Corps, ended up going to school, getting my bachelor's degree, starting a family, end up having 4 beautiful daughters that are adult women right now, 36, 30, 27, and 24. And life worked out good. So those were my plans. God had other plans. So that's the way it worked out. But the reason that I want to talk about military options is because I went in the Marine Corps when I was 18 years of age, right out of high school, almost a year out of high school. I graduated in 1983, went in the Marine Corps in March of 84, and had a blast. Like I said, I was stationed in 29 Palms, California. I went to paralegal school at Oceanside, California. I went to boot camp at MCRD, San Diego. Oh, California. I was a Hollywood Marine, as they called us back in the day. So, yeah, it was amazing. Had a great time. When I went overseas, I went to about 30 countries in a year. Lost my complete mind being overseas. Hit several continents, Asia, Europe, Australia, Africa. So, yeah, I had a blast. And like I said, it was an amazing experience. So the reason I want to talk about the military options is because I'm not here to push it on anyone, but sharing my wisdom, podcast with Uncle E, I am here to share my wisdom and give you my opinion, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Before we move forward into the video that I'm going to share with you from TikTok, the ultimate library of education as far as I'm concerned, let's take a look at my website or my YouTube channel, Share My Wisdom podcast. I want to show you the ebooks that I have. Okay, so let's get here. Okay, here is my YouTube channel, Share My Wisdom podcast with Uncle E. If you click on more, and this is my About Me. If you go down to, these are the links. And if you go down to Share My Wisdom podcast ebooks, you click on it. Make sure I'm there. Okay, we're there. And these are my ebooks that I sell. I sell my ebooks for $7 a piece. There's 22 of them. Actually, there's 23. The 23rd ebook is Daddy's Girls, a Father's How To in Building Lifelong Relationships with Our Daughters. I have another YouTube channel called Grow That YouTube channel that I work directly with fathers, regardless of their ethnic group, background, and or culture. So that book is, it's a self-published book I have on Amazon.com. So I decided to make it into an ebook for fathers who may be interested in an ebook instead of buying the paperback copy. Okay, so these are my my ebooks. We can check them out. I have 23 of them total, right? And they go hand in hand with Sharing My Wisdom podcast with Uncle E. So Millennials and Gen Z, feel free to purchase them. I am doing live streams on pretty much all of my ebooks. And just share my wisdom with you, Millennials and Gen Z. Okay. If you decide to purchase, you could purchase them individually for $7 a piece, or you could purchase all 22 of them for $100, which will save you about $50. Okay? So that's up to you, Millennials and Gen Z. So if you want to support a brother, that's how you support a brother. Let me pull this back up. I will never ask Millennials or Gen Z for money under any circumstance. I'm not going to do that. I know that's how a lot of YouTube channels are set up on Cash Apps, PayPal, or Patreons. I'm not interested in none of that because I don't need anything from you, right? And I'm not hating on anyone else's hustle. That's just not how I get down. I'm not interested in that. So if you do want to support, you have access to the ebooks, and they will make a lot more sense. If you want to really get to know me, purchase my ebooks, and my ebooks will let you know who I am and how I get down. Okay. So I have this video that I put together from TikTok. All of the videos that I use on Share My Wisdom podcast come directly from TikTok. They're all clips. And TikTok is a library of education. You young people go there, you share your lives. So I just believe in, like I'm doing a live stream. So once you put in cyber, it no longer belongs to you. And I just believe in using social media platforms, and social media engineering to my advantage to empower and help young people and share my wisdom with you. I will never use anything that I come across on social media as a detriment. And the internet is good and it's bad, right? Social media is good and it's bad. So it depends on how you use it. I believe in using it in a productive manner through education. And that's how I get down. Okay. So we're going to take a look at this video. It's almost 30 minutes long. It's talking about military options. And then I'll come back and share my wisdom on it. But I'm hyped about it because I did serve in the United States Marine Corps, and it was the best decision I made at the time, being 18 years of age, to get the hell out of Colorado. I love my state. I'm a native of Colorado. I love it here. I raised my children here. But being able to go to California, live in California, and then eventually go overseas and expand my wings through education was amazing. And like I said, traveling the world opened up my mind and exposed me to different cultures and different people who don't look like me or talk like me. But the one thing I did realize is that there's greatness in every continent. There's greatness in every culture. You could best believe. All right, let's get this set up and let's roll. Okay. make sure. Hold on. Okay, let me connect this through. Let me share my screen with you guys. That's the way I have to do it. Okay, there we go. Share. I think we're there. Yep, there we go. All right, Millennials and Gen Z. Military options for employment. Military employment options. All right, here we go.
Benefits, there's a lot of benefits, but if you just focus on IT specifically, like I feel like there's nothing better than IT when it comes to the military. Certification, any certification you want, you can get. Like some of the most expensive ones are SAN certifications, which cost up to like $8,000 per cert. So the military will cover all of that costs. On top of that, the education benefits, which is unmatched. So you get GI Bill, which you'll get free tuition on top of getting housing paid for, like a stipend for it when you're actually in school as well. So that's one of the other ones you can get. I was in reserves also, so they have the state tuition assistance program that you can get with National Guard for state, as well as just the regular federal tuition assistance. So that's another thing you can use on top of your GI Bill. And then one of the things that I used was the Hazelwood Act, which is in Texas. I don't know if they have something similar in any of the other states, but in Texas, if you join and enlist in the military, you can get exempt from paying tuition at any state school that you go to. So like University of Texas, Austin, University of Houston, you'll get exempt tuition from any of the schools that you choose to go to, on top of getting to keep your GI Bill money and your tuition assistance and just being able to pocket that. So it's a lot of really good benefits, especially when it gets tech. But the number one is experience for sure. You can't beat that. Like the hands-on experience we got in the military carried me throughout my entire career. I didn't even need to have a degree for a long time because the experience that I had superseded that.
If you want to do a trade in your life, if you want to be a plumber, electrician, if you want to be HVAC, joining the United States military is the best course of action. And I'm going to explain to you why. The number one thing you have to realize is between now and then, you are going to need to get certified. You're going to need to have your life taken care of in terms of being able to live somewhere, have money. You're going to have a job as you're getting these certifications. You're going to be paying for these certifications. And even once you get hired as an apprentice somewhere, you're not going to be making top dollar. So now let me ask you, would it not be more beneficial to take those 3-4 years that you would be living at your parents' house and you would be paying out of pocket for these certifications to have the United States government pay for those certifications for you? See, there's something called the U.S. MAP program that's going to help you get certifications. You can get as many as you want. You can get hundreds of certifications in whatever thing you want to do completely free. On top of that, during that 4 years, you'll be able to get a degree if you wanted to. You'll have the GI Bill so you can get a degree afterward. Most of the money that people make in trades is when they own their own business. Would it be nice to be able to have resources from the VA, such as the VA small business loan, to be able to actually fund that business? Absolutely. Now, keep this in mind as well. Over the next 4 years, we're talking about credibility. Businesses run on credibility. People will hire you because you are credible. In fact, small businesses have a 43% more likelihood of success if they're veteran owned. And that's just a fact. And so recognize that over the next 4 years, it's about building your credibility so that when you're 22, you have the VA home loan where you can actually live in a house. You have a better chance of getting hired from somebody as an apprentice, moving toward journeyman because you have that military background. And you're in a position where you have tons of certifications that you didn't pay for. And if you want to get further certifications, things that are a little bit more challenging to get, the GI Bill will pay for those things. So you got to think long term. A lot of times people think short term. Is it possible to be a plumber or an electrician apprentice at 18, 19, 20? Yes, it is. But is it the most beneficial way to do it? Because by the time you're 23, 24, 25 years old, the guy who did 4 years in the military, took advantage of all the programs, he's going to be far surpassing you because he has the same certifications. He doesn't have the debt, and he'll probably get hired a lot quicker than you would. And I'm letting you know that he'll also be a homeowner. He'll also be, living in his own house. He'll also have a degree. He'll also have resources from the VA to be able to, fund his business so he can launch it and have the type of company with a few trucks, things like that. There's a lot of benefit to it. So is the military the best option to be able to do a trade? In my humble opinion, I would go ahead and say absolutely. If you disagree, leave a comment and tell me why.
The military is degree-free pathway number one. It's get a job. going into the military is getting a job. You are getting a guaranteed job. The reason that we don't rah sign up for the military is because I come from a military family. My two middle siblings were both in the Army, one enlisted and one as an officer, ROTC. And we have seen up close, and I have seen up close, that just because there are a lot of benefits does not always mean it's worth the cost.
There's a couple of jobs in the military that if you get, you're setting yourself up for success. The first job is anything in cyber, really. It would really get your foot in the door. Cyber is a growing field, as we all know. The industry is just exploding. Every single year it gets bigger and bigger. You'll get some real world experience, maybe with no experience coming in, and that's super unlikely in the outside world. Now, the second job is contracting. Contracting is a huge career. You're handling millions of dollars worth of contracts. Everything you see on base has been contracted, and a lot of people are searching for good contractors. Third is aerospace medicine. Aerospace medicine is a great career field. If you're interested in getting into the medical field, I would highly recommend to seek out this opportunity because it gives you a whole lot of experience. And in the military specifically, they allow you to do a little bit more than what you could do in the civilian world if you didn't have your nursing license or something like that, which is really cool. For example, you could be something called an IDMT. I think it stands for Independent Medical Technician, but honestly, I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But IDMT is a really cool career. I honestly would want that if I wanted to do something medical.
I would personally not recommend doing 20 years in the military, but for certain people, it can be a good option. For most people, it's better not to. Why do I say this? The average member that serves 20 years usually joins at 18 years old. That means if you join at 18, then you're out of the military by 38. But let's compare to a member only doing 3 years. So they join at 18 and they're out by 21 years old. But the other member that's serving 20 years still has 17 more years to go. What can you get out of the military with only doing 3 years? You're able to contribute to your TSP, which is your thrift savings plan. So you get out of the military with money saved up, you get the GI Bill, and you have the potential to receive VA benefits that pays you for the rest of your life. You get out with all of this. You can still go to school, you can work, or you can start a business. Just think about how far you can scale your business in 17 years. I just feel like doing less years in the military compared to doing 20 can be just as beneficial. But this is just my opinion. What do you think?
To anybody who's considering joining the military, you will not regret it if you do it right. You go in with a plan. The military's giving me a bachelor's degree for free. It's going to give my wife the same. I'm going to start earning a master's degree for free pretty soon. I've had 4 children, and I'm in no medical debt. My resume looks better than most of my peers my age who didn't join. And on top of all of that, I have actual job skills and connections that could lead to employment when I get out. I have no regrets about joining the military. I think that the military has given me structure. It's given me a lot of qualities, but most of all, it's given me belief in myself. I know what I can accomplish now, and it's all thanks to the military. So if you want to join the greatest team ever, go talk to your local recruiter, guys.
So if you have ever wanted to get in contracting or like contract specialist for the government, there's a program that the Air Force offers. It's called a Copper Cap program. And basically, you apply for this program, you get hired on, and it's developmental all the way up to GS 13. You get promoted and you become a contract specialist for the government. On top of that, there are benefits like if you want to go back to school, they will pay for your education. They'll pay for you to get like a master's degree, certifications. And then at the end of the program, you are a full-time contract specialist with the government. And that's the easy way to get on through developmental programs. So check that out. It's called Copper Cap.
That's actually a big reason of why I'm enlisting into the military. I've built a life for myself. I own a house, I have a decent job, but at some point you want more. And this is a great way to like reset my life. I'll be able to go in and finish my degree for free. I'll be able to get skills for a new career for free. And I mean, I get all these other benefits. It's kind of a no-brainer. I think you should go talk to your recruiter and see what any of these branches could do for you potentially to make your life better. But I think it's a great option for somebody that is stuck and does not know what to do and doesn't have the resources in order to be able to progress their life the way that they want to.
Hey Guns, what advice do you have for somebody that wants to join the military?
What advice do I have for somebody who wants to join the military? Well, first thing I tell you is this: it's a long process. It's not something that happens overnight. See, a lot of times people think it'll be my last option. I'll just go if everything else doesn't work out. Little do you know, 15% of people are actually qualified for military service. Most people aren't, whether it's medical, moral, physical, whatever. So recognize that anything that you want to do, you can do inside the military. Whatever job, career for the most part, and if we don't have it, we can help you get it. So what do I mean? What I mean is get started, right? Like if you think about doing it, if it's something you want to do, get started. Get started right now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to tell you to weigh out your options. Go to college for a couple of years. Get into debt for a couple of years. Be average for a couple of years. Be mediocre for a couple of years. Be like everybody else for a couple of years. I'm going to tell you, you want advice? My advice is be exceptional. Be great. Become the best you can be. Be awesome. Be strong. Be mindful. Be wise. Get fit. Do the hard things in life. When you do the hard things, everything else becomes easy. See, people wonder why life is so challenging for them. It's challenging because they have not prepared themselves. Their mind is weak. Their body is weak. Their soul is weak. Get hard. Get tough. By the time you're 25, 27, 28 years old, there's literally nothing that's going to be able to hold you back. So my advice is start today.
How to choose your job in the Army. The Army is the only branch where you can hand select your job, which is your MOS, before you enlist. There are over 150 MOSs to choose from. You'll take the ASVAB, and as long as you qualify for that job, you can choose it. The better score you have, the more options you have. Think about the jobs that you want to do in the civilian world. More than likely, there's a job in the Army for just that. And now you can get paid getting certain certifications that you might need in the future for that job. Look through all jobs and pick your top 5. Research the jobs that interest you. More than likely, there's a YouTube video or someone on social media that do just that. Don't be afraid of messaging them and asking questions. Do you want an outside job, more combat related? Do you prefer a support MOS, in the office, or working in the hospital? Some things may look cool, but you want to remember the outcome once you're done with your enlistment. Talk to your recruiter and tell them what you're thinking about. They may be able to help. Talk to me if you have any questions. Just because you chose a certain MOS doesn't mean you have to stay with it. Once you're in the Army, you can also reclass to a different MOS. How did you choose the job that you wanted?
Hey, what's up, man? So to answer your question on that, the biggest thing is obviously the Air Force is going to have its needs. When you're able to get with your recruiter, ask them to show them the enhanced job counseling tool. What that's going to pretty much do is it's going to show like, hey, big Air Force everything. It's going to show you, hey, we're hiring X amount of people for this job, X amount of people this cycle, how many spots are available, and then it'll also say, hey, how many people have applied. Example, right? A good job would be like aerospace service medical. It'd say the Air Force is going to hire 200 people for that job, right, this year. It'll say 150 have already been selected, but then on top of that, there's 213 people who will put in an application. So put that odds in of what are your chances of getting the job. So even though that might be your number one job to get, they'll fill those spots. But what happens if you're left out the door and you don't get that job? What's your plan B, your plan C, your plan D? So that's why we always tell you guys, at least I do, I tell people don't necessarily come in job locked, be open to a certain field. So I tell, it's usually the girls too, like, hey, I want to do like nursing and stuff. I can't promise you a nursing job. I can shoot your shot to get you something in the hospital. That's doable. Hey, Sergeant Allen, I want to work on fighter jets. Okay, that's a possibility, but hey, I can at least get you something on the flight line and maybe in a certain field of either avionics or direct working on the engines or a certain piece of the aircraft. So that's what I'll say for you, man. You have the opportunity to wait. If that's the job that you truly want, yes, you can wait. But that's where it gets down to that give and take. Because I've had two people, been a recruiter going on almost 4 years now. I've had two people who waited, and it got to the point where the seasons changed, and they were still here waiting for that one particular job. Note I said the seasons changed, plural. So you have that right to wait, but the question is how long do you want to wait?
So I'm not going to lie, being a reservist is probably one of the most clutch things you can do in the military if you don't want to be active duty. I think everyone should honestly go do it because you only have to work 2 days a month and it's 2 active weeks a year. And you pretty much get all the same benefits that the active duty people get. The only catch to it is that you do have to activate and actually do some active duty time. So I know for the VA loan, it's 180 days. Now, I've met people before that said that they would pay $500,000 just to get access to the VA loan. So think about 180 days just to get access to that. You can also get access to the GI Bill. You can get access to tuition assistance, and you can even get access to TRICARE, everything that the active duty members get, except you don't have to work that much. It's honestly one of the most insane deals out there right now. I think everybody should honestly go and look into the reserves.
Nobody really talks about how it's an advantage to join the military at an older age. Even through the recruitment process, I've had things come up that I was able to overcome just by having life experience. It's a lot harder to get finessed by these recruiters if you know how life works, if you know how the world works, especially if you know why you're going in and you know exactly what you want. You'll be able to demand that a lot easier and not have to listen to the recruiter tell you that's not possible when 9 times out of 10 it is possible. My recruiter wasn't ready for me to do as much research as I did before I went to talk to him.
Hi, you're going back to GoArmy.com because listen, I'm gonna tell you about these MOSs that I didn't find out until after I became a combat medic. Let me tell you, y'all got to do some research because I would have chose a lot of these different ones. I'm gonna tell y'all the ones I would have chose, but listen, it ain't combat medic specialist. Now I know y'all like she ragging on combat medics. I love being a medic. Okay, everybody want to be a medic, but for what I had in mind, what I was trying to do for my family, for my kids, I would have chose something different, especially if you just join a National Guard or Reserve. Listen, you need something where you can walk into them hospitals and be like, man, I got this certification. Y'all paying what? Yeah, let me get that. And that EMT basic just not, it ain't giving what it needs to have given in the civilian world. Practical nursing, 68 Charlie. When I went in, I said, I want to be a nurse. And they gave me 68 whiskey. No, I did not know that 68 Charlie existed. And I would have 100% done this and went on the nursing path. But this is 52 weeks in AIT. So you're there for a full year. It is 2 parts. It is like a didactic part, which is in classroom, and a part that is like clinicals. That was my number one choice. Number one. Let's look at some other. Now, listen, I always talk about medical because I am medical, and I just see the value in medicine, I guess. I don't know. All right, so let's look at some other medical jobs. So one that is slept on a lot, I did talk about it in the other, is 68 Romeo. Even though it says veterinary food inspector, this is also just a general food inspector as well. It just falls under the veterinary umbrella. But this is only 8 weeks. It's not terrible, but there are so many opportunities for this. Let's see. So this is lab tech, and lab tech has a bonus right now. This is 68 kilo. This is again 52 weeks. So a lot of the medical jobs, they're either really short or really long. We're right in the middle. We're 16 weeks. But just because it's long, listen, that just means you're getting a solid foundation to take to the civilian world. This is for National Guard and Reserve. But everyone, solid foundation. Listen, like they're not shortchanging you. You're getting the civilian certifications here. This is lab tech. or medical laboratory specialist. Let me stop playing with y'all names because y'all do be in my comments. Now, this one, 68 Foxtrot, physical therapy specialist. I didn't even know that this was a thing. Okay. This is like a hidden gem. 28 weeks of AIT. If one thing that the military always going to have is broken, aching, torn, something. This is where it's at right here. If you like, I ain't with medicine like this, but I want to be medical, had. So this is patient administration specialist, 68 golf. These are when you go to the hospital, the people who like put you in the system. Every hospital got it. You know, you go to the hospital and the ER, and you see the lady right there. That is what PAD does. Only 7 weeks AIT. Wow, super short. What else do we got? OR Tech, Operation Room Specialist. Let me tell you, 68 Delta, 21 weeks. You know, when you're in the ER, you know, for us who are being seen in the ER, you're counting back from 100. But the people that's handing the doc the instruments, that's them right there. Military got that. You didn't even know that, huh? Telling you. Do your research. Don't be like me, just go in there talking about I want to be a nurse because you're going to be a 68 whiskey if you go in there with no information. Now, let me tell you, dental specialist, now I'm not here for the mouth, for teeth, none of that. But dentists don't work on Friday. They get paid well. Like every dental specialist I've seen be smiling. 68 Echo, 8 weeks. That's it. That's it. So we got the BH, behavioral health specialist, 68 X-ray. These are like the best people ever. I'm telling you, I love working with them. 20 weeks AIT, just 20 weeks. And y'all could like go and look at all this stuff yourself. Nutrition care specialist. Who even knew that was a thing? 68 Mike, 7 weeks. So many medical jobs. All right, y'all see combat medic specialist. Y'all know that's what I am. It's 16 weeks. Okay. I'm going to open it up for y'all so y'all don't be talking smack. Say I'm talking smack about 68 whiskeys. So for me, if I could go back 9 years and choose, if I had went in informed, right? Went in with a little bit of information, the jobs that I would have chosen would have been 68 Charlie, practical nursing specialist. That would have been my number one. Outside of that, I would have probably done actually preventative medicine. I would have done this one because everyone has safety. And not just safety, like in medicine, it's like your shots, your immunizations, like we're preventing you from getting sick. It's just 15 weeks. I would have honestly done this. And they have a bonus. Look at that. I would have done medical logistics. All I'm saying is to educate yourself. So go on goarmy.com and look at the different MOSs. So when you talk to your recruiter, or actually it happens at MEPS, but when you talk to them at MEPS, you can pick a job. Like you'll go in with a few that you really want to do and get the job that you want, and that makes the most sense for you where you are. You might have to wait a little bit, and that's fine. And you have to get good scores. You have to study for the ASVAB. Look up free ASVAB study guides and get to studying. But there's options, and the military has every job that's the civilian world has. Like you could be so amazed by what the military has to offer as far as specific jobs. So choose something that makes sense for you and that you really want to do. Do some research. I'm just saying.
Join the Air Force for 4 years, get out, easily get a contracting job, 6-figure salary.
You know, you can do this with all the branches, right? That's why nobody takes y'all seriously. Well, them and the Coast Guard.
You're reserved, right? Yes and no. Explain that. Explain that to. So I enlisted under the Army Reserve, yes. And I served as a reservist. And then I learned about the Active Guard Reserve program, which allows you to work active duty at reserve centers. And so I work full-time for a reserve unit. So I get all of the benefits, the equal amount of pay that active duty service members get, except for I don't go to regular Army units. I go to Army Reserve units. So I drill with my units and I go to annual training with my unit when they come to do their drills and their annual trainings, but they're not with me 24/7.
So when you were active duty, how much did the Army pay you per month?
Per month, I was making about $8,000. Every 2 weeks, it was around like $4,800 after taxes and everything. I was in Alaska, so you get paid more up there. And I was married. It was dual BAH, so it kind of worked out where I was getting a good little chunk.
As a reservist in the Army, how much does the Army pay you every month?
So every month as a reservist, I only work 2 days. I make like $400. It's nothing bad. I mean, you're here chilling with the homies, so it's nothing too crazy. You're getting paid to chill.
Okay, guys. So my recruiter sent me a list of things I qualified for, and she marked them off. Here we go. Okay. I already went through this list prior to this video, so I'm going to tell y'all what I picked. Okay. I'm not doing none of these. Okay. First of all, I don't even like dealing with my own toilet. So yeah, that's not happening. I don't want to be in the field, even though I know that's a possibility I will be, but I don't want to be. But yeah. Anyway, carpentry, yeah, no. I feel like this is boring. I want a job where I'm gonna be like having fun, you know. Aviation, no. Shout out to my cousin who did do that though. I definitely didn't know what this was, and I looked it over and I realized something. Anything with OSUT on it, I know not to do. Cable system installer, boring. Military police didn't seem boring, but at the same time, I thought about it. I don't even want to join the police force out here, so yeah, no. Now, this right here, signal intelligence. Voice interpreter, I'm picking that. And I'm going to tell y'all why I'm picking that in another video. So y'all have to look out for the other video. Religious affairs. Whoo, baby, I'm split on my own religion. So I do not need to be in charge of nobody else's. Dental specialist, I need my own teeth done. So I do not need to be in the mouth for anybody else's. Motor transport operator. Nah, I'm good on that. Ammunition control and accounting specialist sounds boring. And as you can see, we got all of these. I didn't go through all of these, but just reading a lot of this, I was just like, yeah, a lot of this just sounds boring. Except for this. Now, I will do culinary because I like to cook. Currently, right now, I don't want to cook, but I like to cook. So I will do culinary. Yeah, I could get into that because cooking is fun. You see what I'm saying? But everything else is just boring, pretty much. And I know we all get paid the same, but I want something that's going to challenge me, that's going to be fun. And honestly, I've been wanting to learn some languages, like Korean, Japanese, Chinese, all that. So this right here is this is what I choose. Okay. Voice interpreter. Yep.
Okay, millennials and Gen Z, you heard it from the mouths of those who are in the military or trying to get in. That last young lady is funny. She wants something fun. Well, you may not want to go to the military if you want something fun. Life's not about being fun. So I don't know who that is, but that's what TikTok gives you. Yeah, humans are interesting. Okay, hey, I'm going to share something with you, millennials and Gen Z. We're going to look at the ages, okay, of what ages you can go into the military. Each branch of service is different. Let me pull that up for you. Okay, let me see. I got it. Okay. So this is USA.gov. And here are the requirements to join the U.S. military. Every branch of the military sets its own standards for enlisting. Learn about the specific requirements for each, including the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, ASVAB. Okay, here's the contact information for all the branches of service for the recruiters. Okay, they're all there. Citizenship and residency requirements. Okay, here's what I want to show you, age limits. Each branch of the military has age limits to enlist in active duty. Okay, I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran, so I was a Marine. Air Force, 17 years old to 42 years old. So they'll take you all the way up to 42. Army, 17 to 35. So the Army will take you all the way up to 35. Coast Guard is 17 to 41. They'll take you up to 41. Marine Corps, the most stringent and best branch of service. That's right, I said it. Marine Corps, 17 to 28. Navy is 17 to 41. And Space Force is 17 to 42. The age limits are different if you join as an officer or join the Guard or Reserve. Here's the education and testing requirements, the ASVAB testing. Everyone who wants to enlist in the military must take the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Test, Aptitude Battery. Each branch sets its own minimum score to join. Your score will help decide which jobs you can do after you enlist. Education requirements. You must have a high school diploma or general equivalency diploma, GED, to enlist in the military. There are fewer spots for GED holders to enter the military. If you have a GED, you will have a better chance of joining if you have earned college credits, scored higher on the ASVAB. Okay, physical requirements and medical, that goes without saying. So that's USA.gov. So go check it out if you're interested, all right? Millennials and Gen Z, just want to bring that up. So check this out, right? My military occupational specialty, my MOS, I was a legal services specialist. I was a 4421 MOS legal services specialist, aka paralegal. So when I took the ASVAB in high school, I scored high on it. And I was afforded the opportunity to pick my MOS. And I've always been interested in law. So I went into the legal services specialist, aka paralegal. So I worked for the Office of the Staff Judge Advocate. So I went to boot camp, graduated boot camp. Then I went to legal specialist school, paralegal school for 10 weeks. It was so damn intense. Military law is deep, right? The military has its own military law, okay? It's called the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice, the UCMJ. So I worked on the prosecution side, I worked on the defense side, and I also worked in the legal services office. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I was already certified as a paralegal. So I didn't have to go through the ABA, American Bar Association. I didn't have to go to get a paralegal certificate. I didn't have to go get a 2-year paralegal degree. No, I was already certified, right? The paralegal school was intense, 10 weeks of intensity, 40 to 50 hours a week, depending, for 10 weeks straight. Then I was certified after graduating from paralegal school. So yeah, I've been a certified paralegal since 1984, and I've used it. Trust me, and I could still use it today. It's not an issue. It's not a problem. I'm a legal researcher. I love to legal research. So, you know, what I will say is this, sharing my wisdom with you. Everything in life is a trade-off. Everything in life is a trade-off. Nothing's free. Nothing's given. So if you're 28, 29, 30, and you don't feel you've accomplished much in your life, you got to look at the trade-off, right? If you went in the military at 30 years of age, you do 20 years, you're 50. Once you retire from the military after 20 years, you have a full pension. People look at the military and look down on the military. First of all, you're serving your country, which takes guts and takes bravery to do. It's one of the most selfless things you can do is serve your country, protect the Constitution of the United States of America against all foreign and domestic enemies. It's an honor to serve your country. It really, really is. But it is one of the most selfless things you could ever do, right? And like I said, if you go in at 35, you'll be 55 after 20 years. So you got to look at the trade-off, right? And every certification that you get in the military is free. Every certification. They'll pay for your bachelor's degree. They'll pay for your master's. They'll pay for your doctorate degree. But the trade-off is you got to serve the time. So I don't talk anyone out of the military. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. I'm a Marine. So I'm with it. And when I talk to young people, I explain the other side of it. I don't tell them it's going to be easy. But if you commit and you do 20 years, you're a lot better off than what you would being as a civilian. I'm just saying, everything in life is a trade-off. Millennials and Gen Z. So, all right, great live stream. There you have it. Military employment options. Millennials and Gen Z. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I enjoyed putting it together, right? Because I'm a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. So happy about it. Glad that I was able to put this together for you. And feel free to leave your comments. Subscribe, like, share. This is a brand new YouTube channel, Share My Wisdom, podcast with Uncle E. I started it this month, October of 2024. This is my 15th live stream. So 15 live streams in 1 month, not bad, right? I'm doing the damn thing. All right, Millennials and Gen Z. I'm out until next week, right? I'll holla at you. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being available. You're always welcome here, Millennials and Gen Z. I'm F.B. Martin. I'm 59 years of age and a girl dad of 4 adult amazing daughters. I'll holla at you next week. I'm out. Peace.